an amazing night. I pray that you had a great weekend as well. Welcome to tonight's Bible study. And I pray that you guys send this to people that you know that will be benefited off of this message because every message, it always helps with whatever we're going through, or if we have gone through things and how to operate. It's not for everyone, but those that it is for, make sure you have notes. I love when you guys take notes. It shows that you guys are really taking your life serious and you really want to change. And you just don't want the same cycle if it's not the right cycle, right? Because this whole goal is to get closer in understanding who we are in Christ Yeshua. This the whole teaching is about, so we can continue to grow and understand, right? So yeah, I want to actually start off with some scriptures. um, I want to start off with some scriptures so we can lay the foundation, and we're just going to sell from there and continue to grow. Let me give you guys, we're going to be reading out of NIV. Um, the first scripture would be John 15, verse 5. That's John 15, verse 5. Is that the right one? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to go over to John 15, verse 5. Do you have all the verses, the other ones as well? Or okay, Galatians 5. Okay, so we're going to read out of St. John chapter 15, and we're going to read the verse 5. And it says here, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. All right. So much goes out the window when, when we are trying to do the heavy lifting for Yah, right? For Christ, when we think we have to work so hard and that you can't change. And you remember, our words are very powerful. I hear this all the time with believers when they say that, well, I can't change, or it's all you, when Christ is with you. And he said he is the vine, if you're the branches, if you're in him, you can produce fruit. So you stay in him to produce, even when you feel like your efforts, like I didn't do nothing to deserve it. A lot of us are dealing with that I didn't work to deserve it complex in Christianity. If you're a believer, follower of the way, and it's causing people to miss the point. It's causing people to overexert themselves and put themselves in position where Yah hasn't called you to be. I know something may seem right and seem correct at the time, but that's not where the Most High wants us all the time, you know? So let me see. Okay. I seen something flick in the back. So that's not where we need to be, even though it looks right, it seems right. I feel like this word is for someone that is in a place, in a season where you feel like this is the right thing to do, but it really wasn't, that God is making you readjust yourself to go another place. And maybe it's some level of attachment that you guys have to this area or this place, this city, or a person, a thing, a job, a business. And God is saying, I didn't call you to go there, even though it looked like morally that was the right thing to do. And right now you're paying for it. Right now you're probably, maybe in some level of depression. Maybe you don't know what you do. Maybe, your finances went down and you can't figure it out. And you thinking that God has called you in that place, but this is the time to readjust, see what he is saying instead of what looks right. We can't just go with what looks right a lot of the times, especially as believers. If you're the light, a lot of the times thing you want to go opposite from where he's calling you. You want to go total opposite, and I understand it. But that's where the fun is. That's where the journey uh begins. That's you becoming a new person, because before there were apostles, it was they were disciples, and before that they were non-believers. So everything takes a level of going through. Yeshua, you can see in the scriptures, Yeshua would get on them because they didn't have faith, and it made him upset. And he was a human too. But a lot of things we have to develop, but we have to go through things. Though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, thou shalt fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff comfort me. And and sometimes it looks crazy. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to the logical mind or people around you. People may call you crazy, but a lot of times that's the route to go. Great innovators in this world, they took that route, right? A lot of people, was who was it? Was it Thomas Edison? They put in the psych house because, was it Thomas Edison about the electricity, that we can run electricity and we can call and be on the phone. And people thought he was a little cuckoo, and they wanted to put him, what they actually did, they put him in a psych house. Like, you're crazy if you think that power lines can carry power, or we can call or talk or communicate. And it doesn't look like what everybody else was doing. His friends, his family, those that he loved, they were willing to put him in a psych house because he thought he can do something that was never done before, right? But this is an individual you will call, he was the light of the world, literally. He created something from the spiritual realm into the physical realm, so that now we have power, we have light, we have all these things that we benefit from, but we forget, caught up in our own day-to-day lives, and we don't give thanks and gratitude. Like, man, we don't look back at the greats, the things they had to go through. Albert Einstein, intelligent brain, but 5 years old, they called him retarded. They called him something that he wasn't. Luckily he had a great mom. The mom would always say, "You so smart." She spoke those words into him, and he became one of the smartest scientists to ever live. But he was weird, peculiar, right? All these individuals, Tesla, it goes on and on. Sometimes it doesn't look right. Sometimes people with good intentions, they will come to you and say, well, uh I don't think you should be doing that. And these are great advice if you were going to live a lifestyle like them. Most of the time, the people that give you advice, it's not the lifestyle that you want to live. This is why you're doing something. Because normally people that you see, you want to live that lifestyle, you're gonna be doing something. It's gonna align to them. They could see Yah's hand on your life, right? So I know where you guys are right now. You feel as though this is the right season to be doing what you're doing, and it's not. Even though it seems right, you did it before. This is just not the season. You need to go against the grain, against what makes you feel comfortable, against the norm, because he's expanding you to become the person to align up to your prayers. We all have prayers. We have to be mindful when you're making these prayers and declarations. you remember you're not that now. That's why you're praying for it. So meaning you're going to have to be that person in order to obtain those things. I hope this is making sense for you guys. You're going to have to be that person. You're going to have to learn how to embody that individual to maintain. If God right now gave you $1 billion, how would he give you the $1 billion? You don't have no business. You know, nobody knows you at work. You don't it like you have to create a space to fit $1 billion. Like $1 billion, no job position will pay you that much, right? So if you're asking for $1 billion, guess what? You have to see, what does every billionaire have in common? They are inventors. They create, they solve problems. So you have to go into the place where you can solve problems and invent something new. So when you invent something new, now you align. But in as the journey progresses, you don't just wake up and become that. You have to go through a journey. This is where the soul begins to manifest and become a living soul, a living spirit, how Yah wants you to be. You begin to bring those things in because whatever you stare at, you become. So in the spirit realm, if you're seeing this new invention in the spirit realm, it's going to make you become that person that brings it into this realm, because you cannot bring, a woman cannot be pregnant and stay the same. I'm gonna say this: a woman cannot be pregnant and stay the same as if she was 5 years before she ever gave birth. Something is going to have to change for her to get into place. Her body is going to have to change. It's not just like poop one day, oh okay, the baby's ready to come out. It doesn't work like that. It's a process, it's a progression. Things begin to shift in their bodies. No one becomes a success overnight. I know, although it looks like it's overnight, but it's not overnight. It's not overnight. It's something that that individual was doing for a long period of time. Regardless of what you think of time, it'd be like, oh yeah, 21, I'm a millionaire. But how long they was doing it? They was doing similar activities at the age of 14, right? So you don't account that. So you think it's microwave. It's not microwave. This person has been becoming this individual to handle this, maybe stardom, whatever it is, influence. It doesn't happen overnight, right? Because if if Christ gives you all that you pray for in one go and you can't handle it, it can crush your psyche. It can crush your soul because you haven't developed, you haven't hardened yourself. That area, like a baby head, is still certain parts of the baby head when it's first born that's soft. They say, wait, don't touch that, because it takes time to develop. So if it takes time to develop your situation, the person that you need to become, you got to go through that journey and you got to start falling in love with the process. This is the process of me continue to becoming. You're becoming more. Even our cells, every 7 years, our cells change in our body. Every cell is brand new again. So your cell can become something new. All right. So I want to go to uh Galatians 5, Galatians chapter 5, right? And we're reading out of the NIV, NIV version. All right. Oh, all right, guys, read along because I still have to read. Let's see. Let's go. Shokore Maria Baria Shere Ete Alamadi Shere Moto. That was Galatians 5, and that was verse 22. Karia Moru Shara Maria to 23. NIV version. And it says here, but the fruit of the spirit is love. And the teaching tonight is know them by their fruit, right? If you want to know someone, if it don't matter what they say they are, what title they say they carry, if you want to know someone, Know them by the fruit that they carry to see if they're fruitful. It don't matter if they're a believer, non-believer, whatever it is. But this is what you should look out for, because a lot of people say, I'm a Christian. A lot of people say, I'm a doctor. A lot of people say, I'm an insurance agent. It goes on and on. But you know them by their fruits. You know them by how they operate behind the scenes. Or if you don't see behind the scenes, you can pick up on their characteristics as they're teaching. Do they seem like somebody that is what it says, that is love? Do they love people, or do they always talk down about people, or do they say, I don't like people really? Or if it's go on and on, see if they carry that level of love. See if they carry a level of joy, because joy, you can tell a lot about a person if they don't carry a level of joy. If they're always just in a saddened state, you don't really want to interact with this individual, or maybe allow this individual in your life. Okay, you will know them by their fruits. Do they have a level of peace about them, right? Or is it always chaos? Are they always chaotic? Is it always something going on? Is it always a problem? Is it always, you got to be mindful with that, right? Because that type of chaos can seep into your life, and your whole life can be just chaotic. They always have an issue with something. So be mindful of that. And they forbearance and kindness. Are they kind? Do they are they gentle with people, right? Do they carry a level of goodness? And this is really for believers, right? But a lot of non-believers carry these traits, and you can know them by their fruits. All right. The biggest thing for me personally, I because I know everybody don't get it right all the time, but do they have self-control? Me, how I grew up, I grew up in a rough neighborhood. So I will always see, even though I had love for people to hang around them, to be around them, but the main thing I was like, do they have self control? Or I had some people, they would want to fight you as a friend if they misunderstand something, or they just always blowing up on you. You don't want to be around that. Okay, so if you have friends in your life that's always blowing up, and always you see they don't have no self control, that's a dangerous thing. That's a dangerous person to be around, because they, whatever comes out their mouth is just flipping. It's no self-control. Everything is off their emotions, whatever it is, and they disrespect people. You don't want to be around that, because we know life and death is in the power of the tongue. And if life and death is in the power of the tongue, that you can listen and see what somebody is being led to, right? You don't even have to say much. You could just observe and see. And you could learn a lot if the person, if they call themselves a prophet, evangelist, apostle, pastor. It's not, I don't want you guys to get caught up on the titles. Yeah, the titles is there to see what field they're operating in, but do they carry these bases? Like, are they fruitful? And do they spread more love? Like, you can look at people and see what you need to gravitate in them. Not saying throw the person away, just know whatever you're looking for. If they're not fruitful in something, if they're not fruitful in anything, that means it says Christ is not with them, because Christ said, you can't do nothing without me, because I am the vine. It's not us that puts in a lot of effort to be something, although we do the work, but it's really him giving us grace to be what we need to be. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. How they handle people. You can know them by their fruits. This is just knowing them. This is just making observation. Okay. You know them by their fruits. They can talk a lot, or the way they act. But if you really want to know somebody, just see how, with the words that they say, if they speak a lot, if they don't speak a lot, what are they saying? What are their actions? Guys, make sure you be mindful of the company that you have around you, because if you're not mindful of the company that you have around you, you can be persuaded, right? We all are open to a little persuasion if it's if our heart, if we love someone. Now we want to be persuaded in the right way. I want the scriptures, I want believers, I want those people to persuade me in the will, continue to persuade me in the will of Yah. Even though I have my own consciousness, but sometimes certain things seeps in because if somebody around you is saying, well, the world is this way and people are like this, you in your conscience, you begin to start to view people how they view people. And then that's either good or bad, and that's a little persuasion because you start to see different ideas, different people. And so you need to be mindful, is it fruitful for you and your family? Okay, so I want you guys to write these notes and take them down, and meditate on this. Meditate on it and know that with Christ you can do all things. If you're having issues with some of these some of the fruits and bearing fruits and whatever it is you need to be filled up with the word, and we know the word is Christ Yeshua. So you need to get into more of his word and reading his word, the words that he said, so you could begin to understand how he thought and how he spoke of himself and the confidence he had, the love he had, the discipline he had, the gentleness he had, right? The peace that he had within himself. He was self-control, right? That you talking about, this was Elohim walking with us, right? This is Emmanuel, Yah with us. He could have blew people up. He could have snapped his finger and people would have been blown up, but he had self-control, right? Real power is self-control. That's real power. That's how you handle real power. You're just not everywhere jittery and saying stuff and don't know what's going on. Real power is always under authority. All right. So I pray that this message has helped you guys, and I pray that you continue to prosper in the things of Yah, and keep spreading the gospel. Until next time, peace.